We've spoken before on this program about the worrying increase in anti-Asian racism since the pandemic began. More than 17% of Canadians have Asian ancestry. And between March 2020 and February this year, they suffered more than 1,000 verbal and sometimes physical attacks because of race. A new campaign is encouraging people to celebrate, not target our rich Asian culture in this country. And Gina Wong is the creator of the Asian Gold Ribbon campaign. She's here to tell us more about it this morning. Nice to meet you.
Good morning, Anne-Marie.
You are a psychologist. What kind of mental trauma, first of all, are you seeing Asian Canadians of all ages experiencing right now?
Anne-Marie, the mental health impacts are devastating. Already, with the collective trauma that we're experiencing because of the pandemic, now we're in the third wave, anti-Asian racism makes the experience even more lonely and distressing, and particularly for those of East Asian descent, because we are the most targeted. So what I'm seeing is a community living in fear, sometimes even for walking in their own neighborhood. We're also worried for our family and friends from being victimized. And so, I'm seeing a lot of grief, feelings of helplessness and hopelessness in my practice. Experiences of anxiety and depression are through the roof, as well as feelings of internalized racism. So, feeling that sense that oneself is not good enough. And then just hearing and seeing what's on the news and reading about attacks, the secondary trauma that can be experienced from that as well. So, it's quite, it's huge, the mental health effects.
And just to put some numbers behind what you're talking about, that fear comes from a real place. You talked about some of those stories that we show on the news. Physical attacks make up 21% of these, and those are the reported attacks. That's almost a quarter of the attacks are physical, not just verbal. So that fear comes from a very real place. Walk us through the Asian Gold Ribbon campaign and how people can participate.
Thank you. The Asian Gold Ribbon campaign, so myself and co-founder Gina Wong, we're really trying to galvanize individuals, communities, organizations to stand in visible solidarity against anti-Asian racism and to embrace the beauty of the Asian culture and heritage. We aim to support healing, to amplify our voices, and to educate to raise awareness. We are maintaining a momentum of an Asian movement and condemning all forms of racism. We want to unite in solidarity and celebrate rather than hate.
Gina, what's the significance of the shape and the color and why the ribbon is worn upside down from how we traditionally see it, so that people, when they see the symbol, know what it is that they're supporting?
Yes, so the shape and color of the yellow canary is very meaningful. So canaries was once used back in the 1900s in coal mines to help the miners detect carbon monoxide or other noxious gases in the air. So if the canary was showing signs of not thriving, the miners knew to evacuate right away. So canaries are life-saving, life-giving. As well, we're reclaiming the color yellow. So Chinese immigrants were called the yellow peril in the 19th century, reducing Chinese to being disease carriers. And we're seeing that revival now with COVID-19 being misattributed to the Chinese as being the cause of the virus. So we're using gold, which is a celebratory shade of yellow, for our ribbons to be worn with pride and solidarity. And so the flipped upside down from the traditional way of wearing the ribbon, like you said, is a replica of the yellow canary with its open wings. So lots of significance for the shape and color and symbol.
Gina, such beautiful imagery for such an important message. Thanks for coming on to share with us more about it.
Thank you.
All right, here's Ben.